Act like you've already won, and watch what happens, is essentially a mindset shift. It's about moving from hoping to embodying. When you act as if you've already won, you stop hesitating because you're no longer playing not to lose. Your posture, tone, and energy change. People sense confidence, not desperation. You make decisions from a place of abundance instead of fear. You naturally attract opportunities because you seem like someone who belongs in the winner's circle. It's not about arrogance or pretending. It's about aligning your actions, words, and attitude with the outcome you want, as if it's already part of your reality. Here's a rewritten version of your speech, keeping the intensity but tightening the rhythm so every sentence hits like a drum beat. Listen to me now, not with your ears, but with every part of your being, because what you're about to hear will either lift you to your throne or chain you forever in the prison you built for yourself. This is not entertainment. This is not a distraction. This is fire. And if you let it into your soul, it will burn away your excuses. It will burn away your doubts. It will burn away the waiting, the hesitation, the someday. What I'm about to give you is the missing law. The law that separates the man who becomes from the man who stays nothing. The man who rises above his environment from the man who is crushed by it. The man who owns the room from the man who can't even get in the door. The truth is simple. So simple it will cut you like a blade. But so powerful it can rebuild your destiny from the ground up. Here it is. Act like you've already won, or you will never win at all. Take this into your life. Not casually, not once. Live it daily, live it with faith, and you will walk differently. You will speak differently. People will feel something in you they cannot name, but they will not be able to ignore. Here's a sharpened, more intense rewrite of your passage, keeping the same emotional punch but tightening the flow and amplifying the stakes. Your voice will carry weight. Doors will open. Opportunities will bow. You will no longer wait to be noticed. You will be remembered. But if you turn away from this, if you hear these words and slide back into your old patterns, your old tone, your old self-pity, your old hesitation, your life will rot. You will walk this earth with the agony of knowing the crown was within reach, and you turned your back on it. You will watch lesser men rise while you shrink into the shadows. You will see your own potential staring back at you in silence, mocking you, and that pain will eat you alive. You will feed yourself lies to soften the truth. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe success is for other people, but deep down you will know you could have won, and you chose not to. Here's your passage rewritten with sharper rhythm, harder edges, and a tone that demands attention. You heard the call, and you chose comfort over power. Nothing will haunt you more. I have watched this law lift men from poverty to power. I have seen it turn uncertain, trembling boys into leaders of industry, builders of empires, voices that shake the earth. I have seen silence become thunder, weakness become command, aimless wandering become unstoppable direction. I am not here to inspire you. I am here to awaken the giant you have been suffocating. So listen, if you will be still, truly still, if you will hear these words with your entire spirit, if you will take this message and make it your law, repeat it, walk in it, build with it, you will become unrecognizable to the man you are today, and the world will have no choice but to follow the man who no longer waits. Here's a tightened, more hard-hitting rewrite of your passage, keeping the authority and weight, but making every sentence strike clean. The question is simple. Will you remain who you are, or will you dare to become the winner you were born to be? Listen now, as if your future depends on it. Because it does. Do you want to know the law by which great men rise? It is not wealth, it is not privilege, it is not luck. It is this: they act as if they have already won. They move through the world as if the prize is already theirs, even when no one else can see it. And because they act with victory in mind, the world bends to treat them as victors. All power begins with mental assumption. A man must first claim, in the fortress of his own mind, that he is worthy of success, that he was designed for achievement, that he was born to conquer, not merely to survive. If he waits for the world to name him a winner, he will die unknown. But if he walks like a victor, speaks like a victor, chooses like a victor, he will become one. Write this law on your soul. You must be the man in thought before you can be the man in fact. Here's your passage rewritten with sharper cadence, more punch, and imagery that keeps the listener locked in. This is not theory. This is spiritual law. Every man who has ever succeeded first became success within. They won the inner battle before the outer war even began. And the starting point of this transformation is a definite chief aim. No man can act like a winner if he hasn't defined what winning means. You cannot pretend to be something vague. You must know exactly what you will do, exactly who you will become, exactly what you will create. Your aim must be carved in mental stone. Write it, speak it, memorize it, repeat it until it burns into your voice, your stride, your very presence, until you no longer speak as someone seeking success, but as someone who carries success in every breath, until your words command attention, not because of their content, but because of the power of the man speaking them. Understand this, acting like a winner is not arrogance, it is not showmanship, it is not conceit, it is the spiritual alignment of belief, desire, and purpose. It is the deliberate choice to live in the vibration of victory before the world grants you permission. That is the price of greatness. Remember Edwin C. Barnes, a poor, unproven man with one burning desire to go into business with Thomas Edison. He didn't mail a letter, he didn't request an appointment. He walked into Edison's office and declared his purpose. He acted as though his success was already secured. Barnes did not wait to be chosen. He chose himself. Here's your passage rewritten for maximum impact and tighter pacing. He walked in as if the partnership already existed. He spoke as if he had already arrived. No money, no credentials, no logical reason for Edison to accept him. But his tone carried faith, and Edison felt it. In time, Barnes became exactly what he had declared. Now, contrast this with the common man. He says, "If only I had more experience, more connections, more resources, then I could be something great." But in saying it, he closes the door on himself. He waits for permission. He begs for proof. He moves with the posture of the defeated. Picture two men entering the same room. One walks slowly, scanning faces for approval, second-guessing every step. Here's your passage rewritten with a sharper edge, tighter rhythm, and more cinematic flow. The other walks as if he is already respected, already trusted, already victorious. The difference is not circumstance, it is belief. The second man has already won in his mind, and soon the world will catch up to that truth. You must declare it aloud. I am already the man I intend to become. I act in harmony with my aim. Say it with force. Say it every morning before you begin your work, because your actions will always return to the identity you hold inside, and that identity is shaped by what you speak and what you assume to be true. Be warned. If you speak like a failure, dress like a failure, move with the gait of a failure, decide like a man who doubts himself, you are rehearsing defeat. And the subconscious mind obeys rehearsal. It builds habits around whatever is practiced. You must not only think like a winner, you must walk, speak, breathe, and decide like one, even when there is no proof, even when others scoff, especially then, because this law works only when belief comes before evidence. Here is another law. The man who imitates the behavior of the successful with absolute definiteness will become successful in time. This is not pretending. This is programming. The subconscious does not judge, it records. If you act like a man who expects to win, your inner world rearranges itself to fulfill that expectation. So dress with dignity, speak with clarity, decide without hesitation, walk with presence. Let every movement declare, I already know who I am. And when the world demands your credentials, show them your conviction. For conviction is the first currency of achievement. Consider this. Here's your passage rewritten with tighter phrasing, harder rhythm, and a tone that commands attention from start to finish. Say it, repeat it, live it. For a man who assumes success begins to see differently. He no longer sees obstacles, he sees steps. He no longer sees rejection, he sees redirection. He no longer seeks favor, he grants it. When they laugh, let them laugh. When they scoff, let them scoff. You move as if your victory is already sealed. Speak with certainty. Look with fire. Work with direction. Live with discipline. Soon the world will be forced to admit what you have known all along. You may not yet have the results, but you have the power to act as if you do, and that is all that is required. Results follow identity. Identity follows belief. Belief follows decision. Make the decision now. I will act like I have already won. Not tomorrow. Not next week, now. Sit taller. Breathe deeper. Think sharper. Stop apologizing for your dreams. Carry yourself as one who has something sacred to deliver to the world, because you do. And make no mistake, others will feel it. They may not say it, but they will sense it. Doors will open, not because you asked, but because you arrived like someone who already belonged inside. If you would understand power, you must first understand faith, not as doctrine but as a state of mind. Faith is the element that transforms invisible thought into visible form. Without it, no plan can live. No aim can take root. Here's your passage rewritten with sharper cadence, condensed power, and a flow that feels built for a cinematic speech. No man can rise without faith. Everything that becomes real is first born from belief held with intensity. The man who believes his aim is already accomplished speaks differently, walks with authority, acts not as one who is trying, but as one already in possession, and the world feels it. For belief cannot be hidden. It announces itself in every movement, every tone, every word. Faith is not an accident. It must be built, and it is built by one method above all, repetition of belief to the subconscious mind until the subconscious accepts it as law. Speak what you desire. Speak it with conviction. Speak it until it becomes your spiritual default. This is the law of autosuggestion. The mind does not separate truth from repetition. If you repeat fear, the mind accepts fear. If you repeat power, the mind accepts power. So decide what you will plant and speak it until the roots dig deep into your character. Say it aloud. I believe I am capable. I behave as if I am capable. I will act until belief becomes flesh. Let this be the voice you hear louder than doubt. For doubt will come daily. But doubt is powerless against the man who answers it with a stronger belief. Consider Henry Ford. When the world doubted him. When his own associates mocked him. When engineers swore his design was impossible, he acted as if the outcome was already certain. He did not argue. He did not shout. He believed. And he continued. Here's your passage rewritten with a tighter rhythm, stronger imagery, and a cinematic flow that builds momentum. And because he continued in belief, the world that once doubted him began to follow. Ford's power was not born in a factory. It was born in the inner chamber, the unseen world of thought. His actions matched his faith. That is why the Model T exists. He did not wait for validation. He created it, first in mind, then in deed, then in result. There is a rhythm to all creation: thought, belief, speech, action, result. Begin with uncertainty, and you break the rhythm. But begin with belief, true, felt, spoken belief, and your actions will strike with force and results must follow. Understand this. Results always follow thought. If your thoughts are passive, your actions will be hesitant and your outcomes will be weak. But if your thoughts are precise and backed by faith, your actions will be bold. And your results will take the shape of the mental mold. What does belief do to the body? It lifts the chin. It steadies the eye. It slows the breath. It commands the room. A man with belief does not stutter. He does not glance away. If you